Hello and welcome to The Reporter. The Reporter is a news and current affairs program that goes beyond the headline, bringing reporters from the field to give first-hand accounts and in-depth analysis of unfolding issues, correspondents' perspectives, ensuring balanced, credible and comprehensive storytelling on activities happening around the world and from Nigeria here, where we're broadcasting from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anieti. Patrick, it's good to have you on the program. There's a whole lot happening around us here from the FCT. Let's quickly give you what's happening from the Nigerian Senate. As the Senate has confirmed the service chiefs appointed by President Bola Tinubu, the confirmation followed the screening of the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs in Abuja. Topsy Giba has the details on how the screening went down at the Senate today. Well, we'll bring you that report. I have Topsy Gimba in the studio to bring us. He had to dash down from the National Assembly to give us update because I was told after the screening section that went there at the Senate, we also had them go behind closed door to meet, and it took a lot for him to get down to give us this. But let's quickly welcome Topsy. Topsy, it's good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's a whole lot happening in the National Assembly today, and the top priority from the Senate is that screening of the service chiefs, which is set to restructure the security architecture in Nigeria. But let's quickly ask you, what are your expectations as a Nigerian at this point from the newly confirmed service chiefs in strengthening Nigerians' national security owing to what's happening in Nigeria right now?
Yeah, from the analysis made by lawmakers, particularly senators, who asked questions looking at the service chiefs that came there for the screening and finally for them to be confirmed, from the question you understand that indeed much is being expected from them. And with the way they responded equally showed that indeed they are really prepared to fight the insurgency and banditry in this country.
Okay.
Even though they are of the opinion, particularly what the newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff in the person of Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, he's saying that the government needs to strengthen the police.
Okay.
If the police are properly strengthened, given what is needed to fight criminality, then the soldiers will only defend the integrity or any external aggression.
Okay.
That again will not make them to spend so much money. But right now they are doing the work of the police, internally and externally.
Okay.
And therefore there's much money needed. And because of that, it will appear as if much work is not done because much money is needed for them to do the work.
Exactly.
And so that's your opinion. But they are very much ready because, like in the case of the CDS, this is a person that served as Chief of Army Staff.
Okay.
And of course, with his training in the military, he is an infantry. And he knows very much about what's happening in Nigeria, particularly in the northeast. So Nigerians will appear to have a very good and formidable military service chiefs going forward in tackling the insurgency that have been bedeviling the country for a while, particularly in the northeast of Nigeria.
Okay, so a lot of questions have been asked. People raise concerns, and I want to throw that to you as a correspondent.
Yeah.
Do you agree that with the Senate's decision to hold a closed-door session on sensitive security matters is necessary, or why would it be a closed door when Nigerians are asking the questions on the issue of security?
Yeah, sure. I agree with you. You would have expected them to ask whatever question they would have asked.
Yeah.
But again, we are living in a country where the insurgents and the military are all in Nigeria.
Okay.
And if you divulge an information that's very crucial, and then you are now letting them know your tactics.
Okay.
And the security matters are not being disclosed, anyhow on television. You know it very well. that if you want to catch a rat, you plant very well. Isn't
You
it?
said the trap very well.
You said it very well. You don't even tell the rat that this particular thing is hanging. If you touch it, it gets you. It's not like that. So that's exactly what is really happening. But fundamentally, most Nigerians are not too comfortable with the way these repentant terrorists who have killed either people in their communities, in their numbers, women and children. And some of them, maybe they have now discovered that what they've been doing over time is not quite very good. They will now come out and they make themselves publicly known that they have actually stopped killing, and then the government will now de-radicalize them by bringing them into the society. And Adam Oshomole was of opinion, is that the proper thing for them to do?
Okay.
He was actually one of the service chiefs. And the man said, in his own opinion, it's not the best way. Somebody who has killed a number of people, and now he's saying sorry, and of course, because he's saying sorry, you will not bring him back into the society. You need to ask members of the families of those people that he has killed, so that they will know whether he should be tolerated or pardoned to remain in the community or not. But what the government, particularly during Buhari, the late Buhari, many of them were pardoned and even given, taken into the army to serve. And it became a very serious problem at a point. So it's not very good to do what they have been doing. And that's what the service chief said. In his own mind, it should not happen that way. His own mind should not happen that way.
A lot of questions are raised because the issue of insecurity is one major talk which is in the front burner, and a lot of Nigerians want to know the way forward. Yes, we have new service chiefs, and this change came as a surprise to a lot of people because we had the alleged coup issues and a lot of concerns were raised. Could it be the reason why there was a sudden change? But the presidency came to say it was a whole idea to see how an overhauling can be brought to the front burner in terms of security matters. But from what we watched today from the Senate, what we saw on the floor of the chamber, do you feel these men are active enough? Like, I know apart from the CDS, which you mentioned, who is now the CDS. So what's your own take? I'm asking you as a Nigerian because before you're a journalist, you're first a Nigerian. Yeah. So let's understand that perspective.
My opinion, looking at these people, particularly the analysis made by the chief of air staff, I'm talking about Air Marshal Sunday Kevin Aneke.
Okay.
He is of the opinion that he is a well-trained air operation.
Okay.
He knows very much about. He has served Nigeria. He has served at international level. According to what he said, he has even flown a jet from here to America, and so he came back with it. And so he knows very much about some of these theater wars, and so he's not afraid of anything. But he now said he wanted Nigeria to know that indeed you cannot be assuming that these insurgents that we are fighting to consider them that they are uneducated, that's the biggest mistake we'll ever make. These boys that are fighting, that we call the insurgents, they have gone to universities. They know much about anything you think you should know. And so according to him, it's not ideal for you to just look at them as if you are fighting people with racks that who do not know anything about. But according to him, that these people are well trained, they have gone to university, and so there is a need for you to know that not just fighting them with strength, but use intelligence, use the brain in tackling some of these issues that we have in the country today.
Well, it's been a wonderful one there for us. We hope that as the Senate has screened them and they've passed, we hope that going forward, Nigerians will be comfortable with the whole mindset that this is the best way to go and we're set to tackle security matters. Thank you so much, Topsy, for always being a part of the program. Well, let's switch our focus away from the Senate and how the screening went down today and tell you what's happening. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund has commissioned a new Faculty of Social Sciences lecture theatre and office complex at the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, reaffirming its commitment to improving infrastructure and academic standards in Nigeria's tertiary institutions. Jumai Manson was there for Global TV.
The commissioning ceremony held at the university's main campus in KEFI, dignitaries, university officials and TED Fund representatives to celebrate the completion of the 2020-2021 Merge Annual Intervention Project, a 717 million naira facility designed to enhance teaching, learning and research. Right Honorable Aminu Masari described the project as proof of TED Fund's transparency and impact in higher education. He commended the university's management led by Professor Saadatu Hassan Liman for ensuring the judicious use of the intervention funds.
This project stands as yet another visible testimony of our collective commitment to strengthening Nigeria's higher education through Nigerian higher education system in line with the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
Representing the Executive Secretary, Architect Babatunde Olajide said the timely completion of the project reflects strong collaboration between TETFund, the university, and the state government. He affirmed the fund's commitment to continued support for quality infrastructure and innovation-driven learning nationwide.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, management and staff of TETFund, I wish to commend the leadership of the university for their dedication and prudent utilization of intervention funds granted by TETFund. The timely completion of any project is indeed an accomplishment that is worth applauding.
Vice Chancellor Professor Saadatu Hassan Liman appreciated TETFund's transformative interventions, noting that positive impact on teaching, research, and students' access to quality education.
Bearing in mind we have 4 campuses, that means that at the end of the day, Nasarawa State University KEFI will be paying more than almost up to 55 million every month for the power they are consuming in their university. And therefore, we are calling on TETFund and passionately requesting to also pay attention to the issue of power supply in higher institutions of learning in Nigeria.
Jumai Manson reporting for Global Television.
And joining us now is our correspondent Jumai Manson to give us more on the report on how that went down for TETFund at that particular one. Jumai, it's good to have you join us on the reporter. How are you doing, Jumai?
Great to be on the reporter. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get straight to this. What new infrastructure has the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Commission right now? Because there's a whole lot of concerns, even from the legislature, on looking at the projects being given to TETFund in terms of the tertiary institutions. Can you just elaborate on that commissioning at Nasarawa State University?
You know, the commissioning of that particular happened yesterday at the university's main campus in KEFI. You know, a lot of individuals, dignitaries, officials, and representatives of TETFund were there to celebrate 2020-2021 annual intervention project, okay, of that particular facility. And you know, it's all about the commission of faculties complex. Basically looking at the commission of new faculties of social sciences, the lecture theatre, and the office complex, which is a big deal in the Nasarawa State University at the moment. It was a whole lot of array of individuals because it's giving comfort, allowing making learning easy, and all of that encompassed when it comes to this particular edifice for students and also the lecturers that will be benefiting from this particular facility.
Okay, so let's get straight. So how does this project reflect TETFund's commitment to improving standards in Nigerian tertiary institutions? Because there's a whole lot of questions about the deteriorating state of public institutions across Nigeria.
By giving back when it comes to improving facilities and the standard of education in Nigeria. As you can see from those edifices, Nasarawa State is one university in Nigeria that has actually benefited from TETFund project, not just Nasarawa State, a lot where you go round, when it comes to Imo State, when you go to places like Bayero University, when you go to even outside the tertiary institution, when it comes to Wadil, TETFund is doing a lot to promote all of these things encompassed. When it comes to learning, when it comes to innovations, when it comes to all of these things encompassed. You know, we've taken a little drop makes an ocean. They are doing so much when it comes to improving learning in Nigeria. And then, of course, there will be a lot of controversies. A lot of people might say a lot when it comes to that, but it's evident. You can see for yourself. That's not just the only project that TETFund is into. There are so many. When you go to, for every university, I will tell you, especially polytechnics, you will see a TETFund structure.
All right.
Any university you go to, or any polytechnic in Nigeria, you will see universities that have benefited from TETFund.
All right, thank you so much.
Academia.
All right, thank you. This is where we have to leave it. Thank you so much for the updates. for that particular story on TEDFund. We appreciate your contributions on that. Well, let's move our antennas and move away from that story and tell you that as preparations intensify ahead of the Anambra State governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reaffirmed its readiness to conduct a free, fair, and credible poll. The Commission, in collaboration with the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, ISAS, says all necessary measures have been put in place to ensure a peaceful exercise ahead of that poll. Sadia Yakubu was there and tells us more.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, in partnership with the Office of the National Security Advisor, convened the regular quarterly meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security in Abuja as part of final preparations for the Anambra governorship election. Welcoming participant, INEC Chairman Professor Josh Amopita expressed appreciation to members of the security and intelligence community for their continued collaboration, describing the meeting as a crucial step in ensuring a safe and credible electoral process.
As we are all aware, the Anambra election is scheduled for Saturday, 8th day of November 2025, just 11 days away. Following a week-long comprehensive readiness assessment conducted across the states, the Commission is confident in affirming its full preparedness for the polls.
The election just 11 days away, Professor Amopita announced that INEC has completed a comprehensive readiness assessment across Anambra State, expressing confidence that the Commission is fully prepared for the November 8th poll. The INEC chairman commended the effort of security agencies in creating a safe environment, emphasizing that credible elections are only possible where security is granted. Representative of the Police, Department for State Security, and Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the military assured of robust deployment and coordinated patrols before, during, and after the election, pledging to maintain law and order across all polling areas. Representing the National Security Advisor, Nuri Bado, Director of Internal Security, Hassan Yahya Abdullahi, highlighted the extensive security arrangements put in place to deter violence and ensure a smooth process.
Any form of violence during the elections will be met with strong, uncompromising response. Nigerian Police, the lead agency for election security, along with other security agencies, stands prepared and resolute to maintain a secure environment during the Anambra State governorship election. We call upon all citizens to collaborate and commit to a peaceful electoral process.
The Nigerian Police Force, as the lead agency for election security, reaffirmed its readiness to safeguard voters and election officials, urging citizens to conduct themselves peacefully and uphold democratic values throughout the process. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television.
Joining us right now is Sadia Yakubu to bring us up to speed on what the discussion was there. Sadia, it's good to have you join us on The Reporter. How are you doing, Sadia?
I'm fine, Jimmy. I'm here to Patrick.
Okay, let's quickly get to this. INEC has said they're taking steps to ensure that they are prepared and fully prepared for the upcoming Anambra election. How is this collaboration between INEC and the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security expected to guarantee a peaceful and credible poll for Anambra residents?
Right, the Anambra State governorship election is scheduled for Saturday, 8th of November 2025, just few days to that day, following a week-long comprehensive readiness assessment conducted across the state. The Commission is confident in affirming its full preparedness for the poll. Recently, they conducted a mock accreditation exercise in 12 selected polling units in 6 local government areas of Anambra State. And then the meeting also, during the election.
Okay, so that shows that the essence of this is just basically for peaceful and incredible poll ahead of Anambra. Well, thank you so much. I would have loved to take more, but time is not our friend. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed with that. Let's quickly move our antennas to a bit of what's happening on the foreign scene. Amid the paramilitary capture of El Fasher, Sudan's oldest capital and Darfur's historic heart, the town of Tawila, is now set to be overpopulated after absorbing over 500,000 displaced people, among which are many unaccompanied minors suffering from severe malnutrition, motivated violations and atrocities, while the African Union condemned escalating violence and alleged war crimes. Yes, Uyi Agmofugbe to tell us more on that.
Fears have mounted in Sudan 3 days after paramilitaries seizure amid reports of mass atrocities and the killing of 5 Red Crescent volunteers in Kordofan. The numbers do not look good in terms of the devastating impact of the crisis on Sudan's civilian population.
We have seen in Tawila many unaccompanied minors. Many of them are suffering from severe cost of this conflict are children and women.
However, the situation is evidently worsening, with humanitarian workers feeling the brunt and displacement figures soaring fast.
On Zamzam camp, there was dozens of humanitarian workers who were killed, including more than 10 of them who were killed were working in one clinic for one of the international NGO. It's quite heavy, because many of those...
Well, joining us here is our foreign affairs correspondent, Uyi Agmofugbe, who I always call the Prof, because he understands how to navigate on all of this. Uyi, it's good to have you.
I'm delighted to be here.
All right, there's been a lot happening, and we just want to dive into this with us. We have limited time. How has this paramilitary capture of El Fasher intensified the humanitarian crisis in Tawila so far?
Okay, so time will fail us to go into the trajectory of what led us here.
Yeah.
There's been a two-year period of crisis. Yeah. As of today, we understand that at least 40,000 lives have been lost to it. Yeah. There's nothing we can do about those, obviously.
Okay.
What the United Nations and all these agencies are now concerned about is how do we ensure we minimize the damage that has been done. People had left, obviously, for fear of their lives and all of that. So even those who are now returning, what are they returning to? So as it stands, is a whole lot of disaster happening there. In fact, what the UN is even now engaging is the challenge of ensuring it doesn't escalate further. Now, this is very important, knowing that it took quite a number of years, fighting between South Sudan and North Sudan until about 15 years ago, when South Sudan became independent, and the rest is history, as it were. But within North Sudan, it appears that that's part of Africa is still stuck in the woods.
All right, well, there's a lot to talk about, but the director is actually right in front of us and telling us to wrap up things, so we don't have a choice. Thank you so much, Uyi. It's always a pleasure to have you on the Reporter. Well, it's been an amazing outing here on the Report. Like I told you, a lot happening across the world, and we don't have a choice but to bring it to you each time we come your way on the Reporter, where this is where we have to draw the curtains until we come your way the next time on the program. We say thank you for staying glued to the screen and always keeping tabs with us until we come your way next time. Don't forget that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channels 276. To stay connected, kindly flows across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Aniti Patrick. Have a lovely day ahead of you.